Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Onyeka and I take you through the fundamentals of financial management, investing and how to build sustainable wealth. Today we're going to talk about money skills for your 30s. I know so many people asked for this video the last time I posted for the 20s, so I'm here to deliver. If you're a new member, welcome. If you're a previous subscriber, welcome back. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button. Let's get going. So in your 30s, you typically fall into one of these categories. You're a mid-career professional. You are earning reasonable salary at this point in time, maybe you're a manager or just slightly below the managerial role. You're also going through very big life events and changes in your life right now. I'm talking about marriage, kids, relocation for my friends that want to jackpot to Canada and the UK. You're thinking about maybe a career change sometimes. Many life changes are happening to you. You're probably wanting to buy a home or you're actively paying rent for a home because you have so many people to take care of. Or maybe you have dependent relatives and whatnot. So all this are what typically characterizes the 30s, okay? And you can see that there is already so many expenses already flying out the window even before your money comes in. So when you're trying to plan for your finances in your 30s, it's a bit more strict than you would in your 20s. A person in their 20s has so much time on their hands and fewer responsibilities, but you have so much more responsibilities right now to cater for. And we need to think about that while we're making plans for our finances. So this is more or less going to be we're going to be playing the game of financial balance, right? Okay, if you have not been investing in your 20s, well, you're kind of a late bloomer, but it can still be redeemed. If you have been investing in your 20s, then you probably have so much money stashed around somewhere. But if you haven't and you're just starting now, all hope isn't lost for you. Calm down. You can still get so much done in your 30s. Okay, so here are general tips I'm going to give, and then we're going to talk about investing in your 30s. So general tips. First of all, you need to have a financial plan. And what is a financial plan? I want you to think of it this way. Think of your money as an employee that you need to give a job and a series of tasks to do. You need to define what those tasks are. You need to get clarity on how soon you want each task completed and how long each task get to be completed. So this is a financial plan. It can be short-term, medium-term, or long-term in nature. It's helpful if you can write all of this down. You can use a spreadsheet or you just have a good old journal where you can put all this down. Financial plans can go anywhere from you wanting to get married soon, maybe in your next 3 months, to wanting to pay your house rent in the next 1 year, to traveling to Canada in the next 2-3 years. So anything from the next 3 days to the next 30 years of your life. That includes retirement, guys. I know we don't like to think long term so much, but it's a necessary part of our lives now. In your 30s, you have maybe about 30 more years before you get to retire from your full-time job. So let's plan for retirement too. So the first thing you need to do basically is to figure out your financial plan. Get this solidly down on paper. Remember the budgeting rule I taught you about 50-30-20? That will still come into play here. But your 50%, we're going to think more about the typical things we spend our money on. And that includes both yourself and for your dependent relatives. This is your immediate family and maybe the other people that depend on you for their means of survival. So take that into cognizance also. And then we're going to plan for them in the 50%. The next thing you need to get sorted out is debt. Are you owing somebody? Anybody, a company, like those ones that will give you a call and threaten you and call all your friends and threaten them too? Get out of that. I know in some countries credit is a good thing, but we're Africans and we are Nigerians. Credit is not a good thing over here. You want to make sure that you can actually pay for everything upfront as soon as you need to pay for them. So if you're in debt, try to get out of debt as soon as possible. It's very important. It's very necessary. So while you're planning, think about getting out of debt. The third thing you want to think about is also maximizing your employee pension plan. Most companies offer this already as part of your salary, so it's already a first line deduction before you get your net pay. But find out from your company if this is being done, and if it's not being done, you want to make sure they get it started. So with your pension, your basic salary, housing, and transport allowances, 8% is your contribution from that, and your employer contributes 10%. You obviously have a PSA number. RSA number. I don't know what's called anymore, guys, but find that about it. And you can also add your own contribution. So meet your HR and tell them you want to include voluntary contribution to this. I know if you're thinking about, you realize that we're looking so much about how to cut expenses, but also how to plan for retirement. You're in your 30s, guys. The years are not smiling on you anymore. I mean, some of us already have gray hair sticking out of our head, so plan well. The next thing we're going to talk about is creating an emergency fund. You need an emergency fund in your 30s. Why? Because it takes care of you and your dependents. You're not thinking for yourself alone anymore. We're thinking about our dependent relatives too, because they matter and they count. So think about the dependents. What do they need right now? If something happens to you, obviously, God forbid, because we're covered with the blood of Jesus, think about how they are going to manage, how they're going to cope and survive after you're gone. And that's why an emergency fund is necessary. An emergency fund is basically 6 months of your necessary expenses planned out and kept in a secure account. No high risk investment, guys, no volatility. You want to put this in a typically a high yield savings account. So keep it online, keep it somewhere easily accessible and somewhere you can easily gain access to it when you need it, but also that inflation will not eat out most of the amount. So I would say when you get that 6 month basic expenses, begin to save up for it. If you have the money in chunk, that's fine, but if you don't, every month putting a little something in there until you make up that amount, and maybe top it up by another 10% just to account for inflation, because it's Nigeria, right? So now let's hop onto the investing portion of things. I know you're thinking to yourself, you want to make big investments right now, but you are in your 30s again. Life is happening to you. You cannot afford to be in high risk investment opportunities that make you lose all that hard earned money. So we're going to soft pedal just a little bit to account for all the changes in your life right now and all the added responsibilities that we have in our 30s. So while you're investing in your 30s, of course, you're going to have high risk investments. You take as much risk as you can, but reasonable risk, guys, reasonable risk, because you have dependents, or you're at least going to have one very soon. So how much do you want to invest? Maybe about 10 to 20% of your income, depending on the kind of expenses you run. Necessary expenses, not shalayin and having fun with your friends. Necessary expenses. So you want to think about 10 to 20% of that should go into your investments. Where should you invest this? I strongly advise investing in the stock market and in mutual funds. Why did I say this? The stock market on the average, I mean the US stock market, guys, not Nigeria, returns about on the average 10% per annum. This means you're investing in dollars, so you're hedging against the currency risk and inflation in the Nigerian economy, right? And then it gives you return also in dollars. And the US stock market is actually better priced than Nigerian stock market. So go to the US stock market. You can use apps like Bamboo, Trove, Chaka to invest in the US stock market from Nigeria. I'll put a link in the description section where you can download it. Tell me, what stage of life are you right now? Do you have dependent relatives or not? Are you single, married? Are you planning for something big or something small in your nearest future, including education? All of that are financial goals. So tell me in the comment section what your financial goals are, and then I'll work with you and we'll see how we can adjust most of this to suit you. Hit the comments, guys. I'll be waiting for that. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Stock markets, mutual funds. You're probably going to ask now, what stocks do I invest in? You can invest in ETFs. ETFs run like mutual funds. So I'm going to explain both of them together, just in case you don't know what it is. It's like an investment vehicle of sorts where a pool of funds is taken and invested in multiple asset classes. This is run by fund managers, so they take a percentage of your money as their fees. So you always want to check what the percentage is going to be that you're taking. You want to invest in mutual funds that have low expense ratios. That's the percentage I was referring to, expense ratios. So as low as possible will help you. You also want to put maybe money in ETFs that track the entire stock market. I love Vanguard VOO because it tracks the S&P 500, and there's index funds that also ETFs that also tracks all the whole stock market as a whole. And then some are sector based, maybe some are in the energy sector, in robotics, in healthcare, etc. So diversified portfolio would be really, really helpful for you. In mutual funds, you can get mutual funds in Nigeria. I love money market funds because they return decent rates, and they're generally safe, so your money isn't going to disappear. But these are long-term investment, guys, so plan for the long term. If you're looking at more short-term things, you can also do mutual funds, the money market, that's short-term. You can think about fixed deposits, get good interest rates. You want to shop around for decent interest rates in this. I know I'm not telling you about big investments like crypto. You can invest in crypto, but remember again, because you are in your 30s, I feel like I've said 30s so much, you have higher responsibilities, and so you want to take fewer risks with your money. So sure, invest in cryptocurrencies and other digital assets, but Right, I'm putting, remember in the 20s I said about 60, 20, 20. Now you want to go down to about 50% or 40% in high risk investment. This will allow you to maximize as much returns as you can over the next 30 years of your life, while also hedging against reasonable risk, so you do not get broke and leave your relatives stranded. That goes without saying. So this is your investment guide. Remember again that risk is important while you're investing. So understand your risk tolerance. If you're the kind of person who will put money somewhere and then when your money is going down, I mean your principal, you have palpitations and a heart attack, then you're probably not very high risk tolerant. You should focus on low risk and medium risk assets like ETFs and mutual funds. Probably stay away from crypto for the time being, just for your benefit. Okay, so this is your investment guide, guys. So also remember other things you want to take note of. You can plan for pretty much everything in your life. That's financial management and financial planning. If you want to go on the vacation, you can plan for a vacation every month, showing a little bit of money into the vacation pass and plan for it. Decide where you want to go to find out how much it's going to cost. Find good deals and take advantage of that. You want to also start saving for your children now. So open an account for them. If you want to, start saving up for their education, you can start doing that as soon as possible. Remember to focus on the most important things first, though. Your emergency fund is important. Figure out your financial plans and get out of debt even before you start investing. So once you get all this sorted out, you can then go into the other things. Save for your kids, prepare for your vacation. I hope you have a scale of priority to all of this, so you don't focus on less important things at the detriment of the more important things. So this is your guide, guys. If you have any questions, I will be around to see them in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future things that I post. I hope this has been helpful to you guys in the 30s, and see you guys later. Bye.